Learn to reinvent yourself at any age. It's never too late to build a life you love. By T.M. Light. Description: This book is a motivational guide for anyone feeling stuck, unfulfilled, or ready for a fresh start. This empowering book teaches readers how to overcome fear, release past regrets, and embrace change with confidence. Through practical strategies and inspiring stories, it shows how to rediscover passions, set meaningful goals, and design a life aligned with personal values. Perfect for adults seeking personal growth, career shifts, or lifestyle transformation, this book proves it's never too late to reinvent yourself and create a fulfilling, authentic life. Chapter Outline. Introduction: Embracing the possibility of change. Chapter 1: The myth of age limits. Chapter 2: Recognizing the call for change. Chapter 3: Overcoming fear and resistance. Chapter 4: Letting go of the past. Chapter 5: Rediscovering your true self. Chapter 6: Setting goals that inspire you. Chapter 7: Building new skills and habits. Chapter 8: Embracing change without shame. Chapter 9: Designing a life that feels authentic. Chapter 10: Trusting the journey. Conclusion: Your new chapter begins now. Introduction: Embracing the possibility of change. Change can be one of the most exciting yet intimidating experiences in life. Many people believe that reinvention is only for the young, that the opportunity to start over, to pursue a new dream, or to shift direction disappears as the years go by. From early on, we are conditioned to measure success by age-specific milestones: the right age to graduate, to land a certain career, to marry, to buy a home, or to achieve financial stability. These societal timelines can make anyone feel trapped if their life does not align perfectly with expectations. The truth, however, is far more liberating. Your capacity to reinvent yourself does not have an expiration date. Life is not a race, and it is never too late to begin again. The idea that change is only for the young is a myth that has persisted for generations. Movies, books, and even everyday conversation reinforce the belief that innovation, new careers, or radical shifts in life direction are only the province of those with youth on their side. We rarely hear stories about people in their 40s, 50s, or 60s embracing new paths, launching new businesses, or pursuing long-suppressed passions. Yet these stories exist, they are abundant, and they remind us that growth is not limited by years but by mindset. Reinvention is not about age, it is about willingness. It is about embracing curiosity, courage, and the willingness to take steps toward a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and joyful. People hesitate to change for many reasons. On an emotional level, fear is the most common barrier. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These fears are powerful, and they are often magnified by the idea that time is slipping away. Practical concerns also weigh heavily. Financial responsibilities, family obligations, or a sense of being too established in a current life path can make the prospect of starting over feel unrealistic. The combination of emotional and practical considerations can create a sense of paralysis, convincing individuals that the life they have is all they can or should manage. But what if this hesitation is not a reflection of reality, but of perception? What if the constraints we feel are often illusions we have accepted as truth? The first step in embracing the possibility of change is understanding that reinvention begins with mindset. Before you can take any action, you must shift the way you think about yourself, your potential, and your future. The stories you tell yourself about age, limitations, and timing shape your ability to act. When you choose to believe that it is possible to start anew, you open yourself to opportunities that may have seemed impossible before. When you release the idea that you must have everything figured out before beginning, you allow momentum and clarity to develop through action, rather than waiting for a perfect plan. Reinvention does not require abandoning who you are. Rather, it is about building upon your experience, your skills, and your wisdom to create something richer and more aligned with your authentic self. Every year you have lived, every challenge you have faced, and every lesson you have learned is a resource you can leverage in your transformation. Age provides perspective, resilience, and insight, qualities that are often undervalued in a culture obsessed with speed and early achievement. Embracing change at any stage of life means recognizing the value of what you already possess, while remaining open to what you can still create. Throughout this book, you will explore not only why reinvention is possible, but also how to approach it with clarity, courage, and purpose. You will learn strategies to overcome fear, to let go of limiting beliefs, and to reconnect with what truly matters to you. You will discover practical steps to rebuild habits, redefine success, and align your life with your deepest values. More importantly, you will gain the confidence to take bold steps toward a life that feels uniquely yours, regardless of where you are starting or how many years you have lived. The journey of reinvention is both an internal and external process. Internally, it requires you to examine your beliefs, confront your fears, and cultivate self-trust. Externally, it involves action, making choices that reflect your priorities, learning new skills, and creating opportunities for growth. These steps do not have to be monumental. Often they begin with small but intentional actions that gradually reshape your life. The key is consistency, self-awareness, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. By the end of this book, you will see that reinvention is not only possible, it is liberating. It is a chance to reclaim your power, to rewrite your story, and to design a life that reflects your values and aspirations. The strategies and insights provided are designed to give you clarity, inspire courage, and offer actionable guidance, so you can move forward with confidence rather than hesitation. You will learn to see opportunities where before you saw obstacles, to embrace growth rather than fear, and to view your journey as uniquely yours. Life is a series of chapters, and each one offers the possibility of change. Just because you are in a later chapter does not mean the story has ended. In fact, it often means the most transformative moments are yet to come. Embracing reinvention at any age allows you to live fully, intentionally, and authentically, no longer bound by the myths of what you should have achieved by a certain point. You are free to define your success, to pursue your passions, and to create a life that excites and fulfills you. So, as you begin this journey, remember, it is never too late to reinvent yourself. The process starts with a mindset of possibility, continues with courage and intentional action, and unfolds through your willingness to embrace change. The chapters ahead will guide you, inspire you, and equip you to take the steps necessary to build a life you love, regardless of age, circumstances, or past limitations. The best part of your story is still waiting to be written, and it is entirely within your power to shape it. Chapter 1: The Myth of Age Limits. From the moment we are born, the world begins whispering rules about what we should be doing and when. By the time we reach adulthood, these whispers have become a chorus, and we start to internalize timelines that often feel rigid and unyielding. By 25, you should have chosen a career. By 30, you should be settled, married, or financially stable. By 40, it's too late to start over. These cultural expectations, reinforced by family, media, and society at large, can make anyone feel trapped in a life that no longer fits, or worse, fearful of change altogether. It is no wonder that many people believe that reinvention is a young person's game, that starting over is a privilege reserved for those with time, energy, and youth on their side. But this is a myth, and like all myths, it survives because it is simple and persuasive, not because it is true. Age does not limit your ability to transform, to pursue new passions, or to reinvent yourself. What age does offer, however, is something far more valuable than youth alone. experience, perspective, and wisdom. Each year you have lived, each challenge you have faced, each success and setback you have endured, contributes to a foundation on which a renewed life can be built. While society measures achievement in years, life measures achievement in growth, alignment, and fulfillment. The idea that your ability to change diminishes with age is not only false, it is dangerous. It can convince talented, capable, and ambitious people to settle for less than they are capable of, simply because they have internalized the wrong timeline. Consider the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Most people know the name, but few realize that he was in his 60s when he began building the business that would make him famous. He had spent decades working in various jobs, facing rejection after rejection, and struggling to find his place in the world. By the time he opened the doors to what would become a global franchise, he had accumulated the wisdom, resilience, and insight that allowed him to succeed. Sanders' story is a powerful reminder that reinvention is not bound by age, rather age can be a catalyst for it. His life illustrates that sometimes, waiting until later in life, allows for a clarity of vision and strength of character that simply cannot be rushed. Society's obsession with youth often clouds the reality of human potential. Media and popular culture celebrate early success as if it were the ultimate measure of worth, while downplaying or ignoring the accomplishments of those who start later. There is a pervasive narrative that the window of opportunity closes as time passes, but in truth, life does not operate on a fixed schedule. The careers, relationships, and personal transformations of many late bloomers demonstrate that growth and success are available to anyone willing to pursue them. Vera Wang began her iconic fashion career at 40, after initially working in journalism and figure skating. Julia Child did not publish her first cookbook until her late 40s, completely transforming her life and influencing the culinary world forever. These examples are not outliers, they are evidence of a universal truth. Experience enhances reinvention, and age often equips you with a unique perspective that can make later successes more meaningful and sustainable. The myths surrounding age limits often persist because they are easy to accept. It is simpler to believe that change is impossible than to confront the uncertainty, effort, and courage that reinvention requires. But clinging to these myths comes at a cost. It keeps people stuck in lives that no longer resonate, perpetuates dissatisfaction, and erodes self-belief. The first step to overcoming them is awareness, recognizing that the stories society tells us about age are not absolute truths. They are constructs, and like all constructs, they can be challenged, dismantled, and replaced with narratives that serve your growth rather than limit it. Reinvention is often about perspective as much as action. Youth may offer energy, flexibility, or the perception of time, but it cannot substitute for lived experience. Age provides the kind of insight that only comes from navigating complex challenges, learning from mistakes, and observing patterns over time. When you approach reinvention later in life, you bring the full weight of your understanding, your empathy, and your wisdom to the process. What a 20-year-old may achieve through raw energy and ambition, a 40 or 50-year-old can achieve with strategic vision, patience, and clarity of purpose. The trajectory may differ, but the impact can be just as profound, if not more so. Breaking the myth of age limits also involves redefining what reinvention looks like. For many, reinvention is imagined as a dramatic upheaval, quitting a job, moving to a new city, or starting a business from scratch. While such transformations can occur, reinvention is not confined to radical action. It can begin with small but intentional steps, learning a new skill, cultivating a long-held passion, or shifting mindset and daily routines to align with what truly matters. The cumulative effect of these actions over time can be transformative, proving that reinvention is accessible, achievable, and meaningful at any stage of life. Moreover, Reframing age as a source of advantage rather than limitation is essential. Each year brings knowledge about your strengths, limitations, and values. Older individuals often possess networks, relationships, and credibility that can accelerate their reinvention in ways younger people may not yet have developed. Life experience allows you to navigate challenges with perspective, anticipate obstacles, and make decisions rooted in understanding rather than impulse. Far from being a barrier, age can be a powerful ally when approaching transformation. Another aspect to consider is societal and familial pressure. Many people hesitate to pursue change later in life because they fear judgment from peers or loved ones. "You're too old to start that now," is a phrase that can echo painfully. Yet this external pressure is often based on the same myths we have been examining. True reinvention requires listening to your own inner voice, rather than measuring yourself against outdated expectations. The opinions of others can inform, but they should never dictate your path. Confidence in your own vision grows when you recognize that your life is yours alone, and that pursuing alignment, fulfillment, and growth is always valid, regardless of age. In practice, embracing reinvention later in life means actively seeking opportunities for growth while letting go of limiting beliefs. It requires a mindset shift, moving from thinking "I'm too late" to thinking "I am ready now." It requires courage to confront fears, resilience to navigate uncertainty, and patience to allow change to unfold naturally. Reinvention is both an inward and outward process. Inward, as you redefine who you are and what matters most. Outward, as you take concrete steps toward building the life you envision. Both are necessary, and both are enhanced by the wisdom that age brings. Take the example of Laura Ingalls Wilder, whose beloved Little House series did not gain recognition until she was in her 60s. Her life demonstrates that creativity, impact, and influence are not confined to youth. Similarly, Ray Kroc, who turned McDonald's into a global brand, began that venture at the age of 52, long after early attempts at business had failed. These stories are more than inspiring anecdotes. They are proof that age does not determine potential. They illustrate that reinvention is a journey guided by vision, persistence, and the willingness to act, not by years on a calendar. By debunking the myth of age limits, you are free to consider your life through a lens of possibility rather than constraint. You begin to see that the years you have lived are not a disadvantage, they are an asset. Each experience equips you with knowledge, resilience, and perspective that enhance your ability to create meaningful change. Reinvention is not only possible, it is a natural extension of growth and self-discovery. As we move through this book, you will discover strategies and stories to help you navigate your own transformation. You will learn to identify the beliefs holding you back, overcome fear and resistance, and design a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Most importantly, you will begin to understand that your timeline is your own, and that your capacity to reinvent yourself is limited only by your willingness to embrace it. Age is not a barrier. It is a bridge to a more aligned, purpose-driven, and joyful life. Reinvention is not about chasing youth or erasing your past. It is about integrating your experiences, wisdom, and passions into a life that excites and fulfills you. The power to change, to create, and to grow is available to you today, tomorrow, and for as long as you choose to embrace it. Age is not the enemy of reinvention. It is a companion, guiding you with insight, perspective, and the clarity that only time can provide. The first step in your journey is simply believing that change is possible. The next is taking action. The chapters ahead will provide guidance, inspiration, and practical strategies to help you navigate this process. Remember, it is never too late to start over, to pursue a dream, or to align your life with who you truly are. Reinvention at any age is not a fantasy, it is a choice, and the choice is yours to make. Chapter 2: Recognizing the Call for Change. Change does not always arrive with fanfare. There is no flashing sign, no dramatic trumpet announcing that it is time to reinvent your life. Often it begins as a quiet stirring, a subtle discomfort, a persistent feeling that something is missing. For many, it manifests as dissatisfaction that cannot be explained, restlessness that disrupts routine, or the lingering sense that potential remains untapped. These feelings are not accidental, they are signals. They are the whispers of your inner self calling you toward growth, urging you to step out of complacency and into the life you were meant to live. Recognizing these signs is the first step in any journey of reinvention. It is the moment when awareness meets possibility, when you allow yourself to see that a new chapter can begin at any stage of life. Dissatisfaction is one of the most common indicators that change is needed. It can appear as frustration with your current career, boredom in your daily routines, or discomfort with the life you have built. Dissatisfaction is not a negative force, it is a messenger. It signals that your current path may no longer align with your values or aspirations. Many people try to suppress these feelings, convincing themselves that this is just midlife stress or temporary unhappiness, but ignoring them rarely leads to fulfillment. Instead, acknowledging dissatisfaction as a prompt for reflection opens the door to self-discovery and intentional action. Restlessness is another clear sign that reinvention may be necessary. It is the feeling of being internally unsettled, even when externally everything appears fine. You may find yourself questioning your choices, imagining what could have been, or feeling drawn toward unexplored opportunities. This restlessness can be unsettling, but it is also energizing. It is your inner compass nudging you toward new directions. The challenge lies not in resisting this restlessness, but in listening to it. When you pay attention to these signals, you begin to understand what is truly missing in your life, and what steps may be needed to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Unfulfilled potential often accompanies these feelings of dissatisfaction and restlessness. Perhaps there are dreams you once held that were set aside due to circumstance or fear. Perhaps skills or passions that could bring joy and meaning remain untapped. This sense of unfulfilled potential is not a reflection of failure, it is a reflection of possibility. It tells you that there is more to explore, more to accomplish, and more to become. Recognizing this potential requires honesty with yourself, courage to confront what has been left undone, and openness to imagining what could be. Self-awareness is the foundation of meaningful reinvention. Without it, change is likely to be superficial, reactive, or short-lived. To truly embrace a new direction, you must first understand who you are at your core, your values, your passions, your strengths, and the areas of life that feel out of alignment. Reflection is a powerful tool for cultivating this awareness. Ask yourself questions that explore your satisfaction, your aspirations, and the life you want to lead. Which areas of your life feel stagnant or unfulfilling? Which activities make you feel energized and alive? What dreams have you neglected and why? Honest reflection uncovers patterns and desires that can guide your next steps. Values serve as the compass for reinvention. They are the principles and beliefs that define who you are and what is important to you. When your life aligns with your values, there is a natural sense of fulfillment and ease. When it does not, dissatisfaction, restlessness, and frustration emerge. Take time to identify your core values: integrity, creativity, freedom, connection, or contribution, for example. Reflect on whether your current life choices honor these values, and consider how you might adjust your path to create alignment. Values are not static, but understanding them provides clarity and direction as you navigate change. Passions, too, are crucial in recognizing the call for change. Passions are the activities, pursuits, and interests that ignite your energy and bring meaning to your life. They may have been set aside in the past due to practicality, fear, or societal pressure, but they remain embedded within you. Listening to these passions can guide your reinvention by showing you what excites and motivates you. Ask yourself, what activities make you lose track of time? What topics do you never tire of exploring? What skills or creative outlets bring you satisfaction, even without external recognition? These answers can serve as signposts toward the life you are meant to build. Unmet goals are another indicator that it may be time for reinvention. Sometimes the dissatisfaction we feel stems from unaccomplished aspirations, whether they are career achievements, personal growth, relationships, or creative endeavors. These goals may have been postponed, forgotten, or abandoned, but their presence lingers in the background of your consciousness. Recognizing these unmet goals is not about regret. It is about understanding where your energy and attention might be directed in order to create a life that feels complete. Each unmet goal represents an opportunity for action, for growth, and for alignment with your authentic self. Recognizing the call for change also involves differentiating between transient dissatisfaction and deeper signals that life is calling for reinvention. Temporary frustration or fatigue may be a signal to rest, recharge, or adjust minor aspects of your routine. But persistent feelings of misalignment, restlessness, or unfulfilled potential indicate a need for more significant transformation. Listen carefully to these signals. They are rarely dramatic, but they are consistent. They appear in moments of reflection, in recurring thoughts, and in subtle emotional cues. Paying attention to these indicators allows you to respond proactively rather than waiting for crisis or burnout to force change. Action begins with awareness. As you explore your feelings of dissatisfaction, restlessness, or unfulfilled potential, commit to documenting your insights. Journaling, conversations with trusted friends, or quiet reflection can help clarify what is most important to you. Name the areas of life that feel out of alignment, and consider what a life that honors your values, passions, and goals might look like. This is not about creating a perfect plan, but about opening a doorway to possibility. Self-awareness transforms vague discontent into a roadmap for meaningful action. Recognizing the call for change is not a passive process, it is an act of courage. It requires honesty, introspection, and the willingness to face discomfort. It challenges long-held beliefs, questions societal expectations, and confronts the fear of the unknown. But it also brings immense clarity, empowerment, and hope. When you honor the signals your life is sending, you take ownership of your journey. You shift from being a passenger in your own life to being the driver, charting a course toward alignment, fulfillment, and growth. Throughout history, countless individuals have recognized this call for change and embraced it later in life with extraordinary results. Consider Grandma Moses, who began her painting career in her 70s, producing hundreds of works that are celebrated worldwide. Her story illustrates that readiness for reinvention can emerge at any stage, and that age brings perspective, focus, and discipline that enhance the creative process. Or look at Morgan Freeman, who pursued acting full-time after years of other careers, eventually achieving iconic status. These examples demonstrate that recognizing the call for change is only the first step. The commitment to act upon it is what transforms potential into reality. In practical terms, the first step in recognizing and responding to the call for change is listening. Tune into your feelings of restlessness, dissatisfaction, or unfulfilled potential without judgment. Observe them, explore their origins, and use them as guideposts rather than burdens. The next step is reflection. Examine your values, passions, and unmet goals, and consider how your life could be reshaped to honor them. Then comes action, small intentional steps that begin to align your daily life with your authentic self. Over time, these steps build momentum, confidence, and clarity, leading to the profound transformation that reinvention offers. Recognizing the call for change is also a reminder that life is not static. Just because you have followed one path does not mean you are bound to it forever. Your life is fluid, dynamic and adaptable. The feelings that indicate a need for reinvention are not failures, they are invitations. They encourage you to step into growth, embrace possibility, and align your life with your evolving self. Each individual's timing, circumstances, and approach will differ, but the opportunity is always available to those who are willing to notice and respond. The journey of reinvention begins with awareness, but it is sustained by courage, reflection, and deliberate action. Recognizing the call for change is the catalyst that transforms dissatisfaction into purpose. It is the spark that illuminates the path forward, showing you that your potential has not been exhausted, and that the life you imagine is within reach. It reminds you that you are not too late, too old, or too inexperienced. You are ready to observe, to reflect, and to step into the possibilities that await when you honor your values, passions, and authentic self. This awareness is empowering because it puts the control of your life back in your hands. It is a call to listen, to examine, and to respond intentionally. It is an affirmation that your journey is yours to direct, and that you possess the insight and resources necessary to shape it. By recognizing the call for change, you embrace the truth that reinvention is possible at any age, and that your life can be rewritten, renewed, and reinvigorated whenever you choose to honor the signals within. In conclusion, recognizing the call for change is both an art and a practice. It is the quiet courage to notice restlessness, dissatisfaction, and untapped potential. It is the willingness to explore values, passions, and goals with honesty and clarity. It is the understanding that these internal signals are not burdens, but invitations to a more aligned, authentic, and fulfilling life. By listening to them, reflecting deeply, and taking purposeful action, you step into a process of reinvention that transcends age, circumstance, or expectation. Your life is calling for your attention, and the moment to answer is now. Chapter 3: Overcoming Fear and Resistance. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. It can protect us in moments of real danger, alert us to risk, and guide us toward caution. But fear can also be a barrier, a silent saboteur that keeps us from stepping into our full potential. When it comes to reinvention, fear often shows up in predictable forms: the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of uncertainty. Each of these fears has the ability to stop us in our tracks if we allow it, whispering doubts that convince us that staying in the familiar, even if unfulfilling, is safer than embracing the unknown. Yet fear, when understood and harnessed, is not an enemy. It is a signal, an invitation to growth, and a guidepost toward meaningful transformation. The fear of failure is perhaps the most common barrier to change. It manifests as a voice in your mind reminding you of past mistakes, highlighting potential setbacks, or exaggerating the stakes of starting over. Fear of failure convinces many people that it is safer to stay in a familiar but unsatisfying life than to risk trying something new. Yet failure is rarely what it appears to be. It is not a permanent reflection of your worth or potential. It is information. Each setback offers insight into what works, what does not, and how to adapt your approach. Those who embrace failure as feedback rather than judgment find that it becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Failure signals that you are moving, experimenting, and stretching beyond your comfort zone, the very conditions necessary for reinvention. Closely tied to the fear of failure is the fear of judgment. We are social creatures, and we care deeply about the opinions of others. This fear can be crippling, whispering that reinvention is inappropriate, foolish, or unrealistic. People may worry that friends, family, or colleagues will question their choices, or that society will deem them too late, too old, or too inexperienced to succeed. The truth is that the judgment of others often reflects their own fears and limitations, not your potential. Recognizing this allows you to shift focus inward, valuing your own assessment of what is meaningful, fulfilling, and aligned with your values. Fear of judgment fades when you prioritize authenticity over approval, understanding that the life you are building is yours, not theirs to dictate. The fear of uncertainty is another formidable barrier. Reinvention, by nature, involves stepping into the unknown. It challenges the comfort of routine and certainty, inviting you to navigate paths that may not have clear outcomes. This fear can manifest as anxiety, overthinking, or paralysis, the sense that unless you have a perfect plan, it is better not to act at all. Yet uncertainty is also where possibility lives. Every new opportunity carries unknown elements, but it is precisely within that uncertainty that growth, creativity, and transformation occur. By reframing uncertainty as potential rather than risk, you allow yourself to take steps forward even when the path is not fully visible. Moving past resistance and self-doubt requires both mindset shifts and practical strategies. The first step is acknowledgement. Recognize the fears that arise without judgment. Notice when self-doubt appears, what triggers it, and how it influences your decisions. By shining light on these internal barriers, you remove some of their power. Awareness creates space for choice. You may not be able to eliminate fear entirely, but you can choose how you respond to it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in spite of it. One practical strategy for overcoming fear is breaking the larger goal into manageable steps. Reinvention can feel overwhelming, especially when viewed as a massive, life-altering change. When you break your vision into small, achievable actions, fear loses its grip. The unknown becomes navigable, and progress builds confidence. Each small success is a proof point, demonstrating that you are capable of handling challenges, learning, and growing. Momentum accumulates, and with it, a sense of empowerment that diminishes the influence of fear. Another powerful tool is visualization. Imagining yourself successfully navigating the changes you desire helps to reduce anxiety and build internal confidence. Visualization is more than wishful thinking, it is a rehearsal for action. By seeing yourself overcoming obstacles, making decisions, and achieving milestones, your mind begins to perceive these outcomes as possible. This mental preparation makes the actual steps easier, as fear often diminishes when the unknown feels familiar through repeated imagination and reflection. Reframing fear itself is also essential. Instead of viewing fear as a signal to stop, see it as a sign that you are moving in the direction of growth. Fear often arises when we are about to stretch beyond our comfort zones, try something new, or align more fully with our authentic selves. Rather than being a warning, it is a compass pointing to areas where growth is occurring. When fear is recognized as a guide, it shifts from a barrier to an ally, providing energy, focus, and clarity about where your next steps should be. Self-talk plays a significant role in overcoming resistance. The narratives we tell ourselves can either amplify fear or mitigate it. Negative self-talk phrases like "I'm too late," "I'm not qualified," or "I'll fail" reinforces hesitation and doubt. Positive, constructive self-talk, on the other hand, encourages perseverance and self-belief. Replace limiting narratives with affirmations of capability, resilience, and potential. Remind yourself that past experiences, skills, and wisdom equip you to face new challenges. This shift in internal dialogue transforms fear from a stop sign into a motivator. Support systems also matter. Fear often grows in isolation, but sharing your goals and fears with trusted friends, mentors, or peers creates accountability and perspective. Others can remind you of your strengths, provide encouragement, and offer guidance when self-doubt threatens to take over. While ultimate responsibility for change lies with you, the encouragement of supportive relationships can make the path less intimidating and reinforce the belief that reinvention is possible. Embracing uncertainty also means letting go of the need for perfection. Many people resist change because they believe they must have all the answers before taking action. This mindset is paralyzing. Reinvention is a process, and process involves learning, experimentation, and adaptation. Waiting for perfect conditions guarantees delay, while starting imperfectly allows momentum to build, insights to emerge, and confidence to grow. Accept that mistakes and detours are part of the journey, not evidence of inadequacy. They are stepping stones toward growth, not obstacles to success. It is important to recognize the interplay between fear and opportunity. Often, the areas in which we feel the most fear are the very areas that hold the greatest potential for fulfillment. A new career, a creative pursuit, a personal transformation, these changes are intimidating precisely because they matter. Fear is a sign that you are approaching meaningful growth, not a sign that you should stop. When you shift perspective in this way, hesitation becomes curiosity, and resistance becomes motivation. Stories of people who have overcome fear and embraced reinvention are inspiring reminders that possibility exists at any stage. Consider Ray Kroc, who started building McDonald's into a global empire in his 50s. He faced uncertainty, skepticism, and immense pressure, but each challenge became an opportunity for growth and learning. J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection before the success of the Harry Potter series, yet her persistence in the face of fear and doubt transformed her life and the lives of millions. Their examples illustrate a truth that is universally applicable: fear is inevitable, but it is not final. What defines your path is how you respond to it. Mindset shifts are central to transforming hesitation into opportunity. Begin by accepting that fear is natural and inevitable. Then choose to act despite it. Adopt a growth-oriented mindset, seeing challenges as opportunities to learn rather than threats to avoid. Visualize positive outcomes, and focus on small, actionable steps. Celebrate progress, no matter how incremental. Over time, these practices rewire your response to fear, replacing paralysis with momentum, doubt with confidence, and resistance with enthusiasm for what lies ahead. Another crucial mindset shift is embracing self-compassion. Fear is often magnified by harsh self-criticism and unrealistic expectations. Treat yourself with kindness, recognizing that fear is a normal part of the human experience and that growth is rarely linear. Self-compassion allows you to face fear without being consumed by it. It encourages experimentation, learning, and resilience, all of which are essential to successful reinvention. Ultimately, overcoming fear and resistance is not about eliminating them, it is about transforming your relationship with them. Fear signals that you are stepping into growth, judgment reminds you to honor your own path, and uncertainty reveals the possibilities that await. By acknowledging these emotions, reframing them, and taking intentional action, you create a dynamic relationship with fear that fuels rather than hinders your transformation. Reinvention is not risk-free, but it is far more rewarding than remaining confined by hesitation, doubt, or societal expectations. As you move forward, remember that every person who has reinvented themselves has faced fear. They did not wait for courage to arrive fully formed. They acted despite uncertainty, self-doubt, and the possibility of failure. They treated fear as a signal, a guide, and a companion on their journey. You too can do the same. Fear is not your enemy. It is the evidence that you are moving in the right direction, the reminder that growth is happening, and the call to embrace change boldly and intentionally. By the end of this chapter, you should see that fear and resistance are not obstacles to reinvention, but indicators that you are approaching meaningful change. Recognizing them, reframing them, and acting in spite of them is the key to building the life you desire. With self-awareness, strategic action, and the courage to step into the unknown, you transform hesitation into opportunity and fear into fuel. Reinvention is not only possible, it is waiting for you to claim it. Chapter 4: Letting Go of the Past. The past is a powerful part of our lives, shaping who we are, the choices we make, and the lens through which we view the world. Yet for many of us, the past can also be a weight, a chain that holds us back from the life we long to live. Regrets, what-ifs, and old identities often linger in the corners of our minds, whispering reminders of what we should have done differently, what opportunities we missed, and who we thought we were meant to be. These thoughts can feel like invisible barriers, subtly influencing our decisions and limiting our potential. If reinvention is to be embraced, learning to let go of the past is not optional, it is essential. Regret is one of the most common ways the past holds people captive. Perhaps you regret not pursuing a certain career, not speaking up in a relationship, or not taking a leap of faith when the opportunity arose. Regret can be a persistent companion, replaying moments in your mind, magnifying what was lost, and convincing you that your time to act has passed. But the truth is that regret is not a reflection of failure. It is evidence that you are capable of caring deeply, of seeing possibilities, and of aspiring for more. The presence of regret signals that your desires and ambitions are still alive, even if you did not fulfill them in the way you imagined. Recognizing this transforms regret from a weight into a compass pointing toward where growth is possible. The what-ifs are closely linked to regret. What if I had gone to that school? What if I had started that business? What if I had made a different choice? These questions are natural, and at times they can provide clarity about your values and priorities. However, when allowed to dominate your thinking, they create an endless loop that prevents forward movement. The what-ifs keep you tethered to roads not taken, stopping you from fully embracing the path that lies ahead. The challenge, then, is to acknowledge these questions without letting them dictate your life. They can be transformed into lessons, guiding insight rather than sources of stagnation. Every what-if carries with it knowledge, experience, and wisdom that can inform your next step. Old identities are another way the past can hold you back. Over time, we adopt labels and roles that may have served us in certain seasons of life, but no longer align with who we are or who we want to become. You may think of yourself as the person who failed at that once, the employee who was never promoted, or the one who always plays it safe. These self-imposed identities are restrictive. They limit your ability to imagine new possibilities, because you see yourself through outdated definitions. Letting go of old identities is a process of reclaiming your power and recognizing that your past does not define your potential. You are not bound by the person you once were. You are free to redefine yourself and your path. Reframing past experiences as lessons rather than burdens is a transformative practice. Every decision, every setback, and every disappointment carries wisdom. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" shift to, "What can I learn from this?" Viewing the past through this lens allows you to extract insight without being paralyzed by it. Failure, when reframed as feedback, becomes a teacher. Regret becomes a guide. Mistakes become stepping stones rather than obstacles. This shift in perspective is not easy, and it takes practice, but it is essential for moving forward. The past only has power over you if you allow it to. By consciously choosing to reinterpret experiences as lessons, you reclaim control and create space for growth. Forgiveness is central to letting go of the past. Often we carry grudges, not just against others but against ourselves. We blame ourselves for decisions made in ignorance, for actions taken under pressure, or for paths we did not pursue. Holding on to this self-judgment creates a barrier to reinvention. Forgiveness is not about erasing the past or excusing mistakes, it is about releasing the hold they have on your present. When you forgive yourself, You acknowledge that you acted with the knowledge and resources available to you at the time. You allow yourself to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight, understanding that mistakes do not diminish your worth or potential. Forgiveness is an act of liberation, a declaration that your future is more important than the past you cannot change. Another essential part of letting go is recognizing that the past has shaped you, but it does not have to limit you. Each experience has contributed to your strengths, resilience, and understanding of the world. You have survived challenges, learned lessons, and grown in ways that can be applied to the life you are creating now. Rather than denying the past or wishing it away, honor it for the ways it has prepared you for this moment. By seeing your history as preparation rather than punishment, you transform it into a source of empowerment. Your past becomes a foundation, not a prison. Letting go also involves releasing attachments to outcomes that no longer serve you. Perhaps you have clung to the idea that your life should look a certain way, that success must follow a particular trajectory, or that happiness is only attainable if certain conditions are met. These attachments create tension and prevent you from embracing the opportunities in front of you. By releasing rigid expectations, you open yourself to new possibilities, creative solutions, and unexpected paths. Flexibility and openness are essential for reinvention. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you make room for what truly aligns with your values and aspirations. Practical strategies can support this process. Journaling is a powerful tool for exploring regrets, what-ifs, and old identities. Writing down your thoughts allows you to examine them objectively, identify patterns, and clarify what you want to release. Meditation and mindfulness help cultivate presence, reducing the grip of past narratives and allowing you to experience life as it unfolds. Conversations with mentors, coaches, or trusted friends provide perspective, reminding you that your past does not define your potential. Creating rituals of release, symbolic acts such as writing a letter to your past self or letting go of old mementos, can also reinforce your commitment to moving forward. One of the most profound aspects of letting go is embracing the idea that your identity is fluid. You are not a static collection of past choices or experiences. You are dynamic, capable of growth, adaptation, and transformation. Every day offers an opportunity to choose the aspects of yourself you wish to cultivate and the life you want to create. Letting go of past identities and limitations is not rejection of who you were, it is acknowledgement of who you can become. This perspective empowers you to act with intention and authenticity. Stories of those who have successfully released their past and embraced new chapters offer inspiration. Consider Grandma Moses, who began painting in her 70s and created a legacy that continues to inspire. Her early life experiences did not define her potential, they became part of the richness she brought to her art. Or look at someone like Vera Wang, who reinvented her career at 40 after initially working in journalism and figure skating. Her willingness to leave behind a familiar path and pursue a long-held passion demonstrates the transformative power of letting go. These examples remind us that release is not just emotional, it is actionable, leading to tangible growth, fulfillment, and impact. Letting go of the past also involves patience. Change is rarely immediate, and old patterns often linger. Some days may feel as though the past still dominates, and reminders of regret or old identities may resurface. This is natural. The process of release is gradual and cumulative. Every moment of reflection, every act of forgiveness, and every intentional step toward alignment contributes to your freedom. Over time, the grip of the past loosens, and space is created for clarity, confidence, and reinvention. Finally, letting go is about embracing possibility. By releasing regrets, reframing mistakes, forgiving yourself, and shedding old identities, you open the door to a life that is defined not by what has been lost, but by what is still possible. The past is valuable, but it is the present and future where your power resides. By stepping forward unencumbered, you claim your ability to create, to grow, and to design a life that reflects your authentic self. In conclusion, letting go of the past is both a practice and a mindset. It requires courage to face regrets, clarity to reframe experiences as lessons, and compassion to forgive yourself. It demands honesty in examining old identities, and a willingness to release what no longer serves your growth. Letting go is not forgetting, denying, or minimizing your experiences. It is acknowledging them, learning from them, and choosing freedom over limitation. By doing so, you make room for the life you desire, the self you are becoming, and the growth that awaits. The past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. Your potential is not trapped in yesterday. It lives in the choices you make today, and the steps you take toward the life you are meant to create. Chapter 5: Rediscovering Your True Self. Life has a way of shaping us, often in directions that are not entirely our own. From childhood, we absorb expectations, adopt roles, and internalize definitions of success that may not align with our deepest desires. Family, culture, school, and society all contribute to constructing a version of ourselves that is acceptable, successful, or responsible. Over time, this version can feel like a mask, hiding the passions, values, and dreams that once defined us. Rediscovering your true self is the act of peeling back those layers, reconnecting with the person you have always been beneath the expectations, and embracing a life that reflects your authentic identity. This journey is not superficial. It is profound, courageous, and transformative. The first step in rediscovering yourself is reconnecting with your passions. Passions are the pursuits, activities, and experiences that ignite your energy, spark curiosity, and make time disappear. They are the things you cannot ignore, the pursuits that call you even when life gets busy or obligations pile up. For many, passions are suppressed or sidelined in the pursuit of stability, approval, or convention. Rediscovering them requires quiet reflection, a willingness to experiment, and honesty about what excites you. Ask yourself, what activities make you lose track of time? What ideas or topics do you find yourself returning to again and again? What did you love to do before others told you what was practical or appropriate? Answering these questions is a window into your authentic self. Values are equally critical in the journey of rediscovery. While passions fuel your spirit, values guide your decisions. They are the principles and beliefs that define what is meaningful to you: integrity, creativity, connection, freedom, or contribution, for example. When your life aligns with your values, even small accomplishments feel deeply satisfying. When it does not, even the most externally successful achievements can feel hollow. Identifying your values is not always simple, because they are often buried under layers of expectation and habit. Reflection, journaling, and honest conversations with trusted confidants can illuminate the priorities that matter most to you. Once uncovered, these values serve as a compass, directing you toward choices, relationships, and opportunities that feel authentic and fulfilling. Rediscovering yourself also requires separating personal goals from the expectations of others. Society, family, and even well-meaning friends can subtly shape the paths we take. You may pursue a career because it is considered prestigious, enter a relationship because it is expected, or prioritize achievements because they align with external definitions of success. Reinvention demands discernment: which goals are yours? Which belong to others' expectations? Separating your desires from those imposed upon you is not an act of rebellion, it is an act of clarity. It allows you to focus energy on what truly matters, rather than chasing achievements that do not resonate with your authentic self. Exercises and practices, can help uncover what brings you fulfillment. One effective method is to create a passion inventory, listing activities, experiences, and pursuits that bring joy, energy, or meaning. Reflect on your past experiences. When did you feel fully alive? What moments made you feel proud, engaged, or deeply satisfied? Another approach is values clarification. List your top 10 values, then prioritize them to identify which are most central to your life. Ask yourself whether your current actions, career, relationships, and daily routines reflect these priorities. Journaling these insights allows you to track patterns, recognize gaps, and take intentional steps to align your life with your authentic self. Rediscovering your true self is not only about reflection, it requires courage. Embracing authenticity often challenges norms, confronts expectations, and risks judgment from others. It demands honesty about who you are, what you want, and where you are willing to go. Courage is required not only to identify your true self, but to act on that understanding, making choices that align with your passions and values even when it is uncomfortable. This courage is not reckless. It is measured, deliberate, and grounded in self-awareness. It is the courage to say yes to possibilities, and no to what no longer serves you. Another essential aspect of rediscovery is experimentation. Your authentic self may not be immediately obvious, especially if you have spent years conforming to external expectations. Trying new activities, exploring neglected interests, and pursuing long-suppressed dreams can illuminate what feels genuine. Experimentation is not about perfection or immediate success. It is about exploration and self-discovery. Each step, whether it leads to a long-term passion or a short-lived curiosity, provides information and insight about what resonates with you. The process itself is transformative, helping you reconnect with desires and capacities that may have lain dormant for years. Self-compassion is also critical in this process. Rediscovering yourself requires patience, as old patterns and identities do not dissolve overnight. It is natural to encounter resistance, doubt, or discomfort as you explore unfamiliar aspects of your personality and interests. Treat yourself with kindness, acknowledging that this journey is a gradual process. Celebrate small wins, recognize progress, and allow space for mistakes. Self-compassion provides the emotional foundation to explore authentically, without being paralyzed by fear or judgment. Stories of those who rediscovered themselves later in life are powerful reminders that authenticity is timeless. Consider Martha Stewart, who built her media empire in her 40s, pivoting from her earlier career and embracing a vision that reflected her personal passions. Or Laura Ingalls Wilder, who began writing her famous series later in life, drawing upon experiences and insights that had accumulated over decades. These examples demonstrate that reconnecting with your authentic self does not require youth. It requires presence, courage, and a commitment to follow your own path. Rediscovery also invites reflection on the life you want moving forward. What would it mean to live fully aligned with your values, passions, and authentic desires? What actions, relationships, or projects would reflect this alignment? This vision is not a distant dream, it is a blueprint for intentional action. By imagining the life you desire and identifying concrete steps to move toward it, you bridge the gap between awareness and transformation. The clarity gained from rediscovery informs daily decisions, allowing you to act with intention and purpose rather than drifting through life according to outdated expectations. The process of rediscovery is ongoing. As you grow, learn, and experience life, your passions, values, and desires will continue to evolve. This evolution is not a failure. It is a natural part of living authentically. By periodically revisiting your inner compass, you ensure that your life remains aligned with who you are becoming, not just who you were. Rediscovering your true self is a lifelong practice, one that deepens as you cultivate awareness, courage, and intentionality. Ultimately, rediscovering your true self is an act of liberation. It releases you from the constraints of expectation, regret, and conformity. It reconnects you with the energy, curiosity, and joy that may have been dormant. It allows you to design a life that reflects your authentic values, passions, and dreams. This process is not without challenges, but the rewards are profound. A sense of clarity, purpose, and alignment that transforms not only your life, but also your capacity to impact others positively. By the end of this chapter, you should see that the path to your authentic self is both reflective and active. It begins with self-awareness, continues with courageous experimentation, and flourishes through alignment with your values and passions. Rediscovering yourself is a journey, not a destination, and it requires patience, perseverance, and compassion. Each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a life that is vibrant, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling. You have the capacity to reclaim your energy, embrace your desires, and act with authenticity at any age. The person you are meant to be has always been within you, waiting for you to listen, trust, and follow. This journey is a reminder that your life is yours to define, not by others' expectations or societal timelines, but by the unique combination of your passions, values, and authentic desires. Reconnecting with your true self equips you with the clarity and courage to act boldly, the freedom to pursue what matters, and the confidence to embrace the life you have always imagined. It is a call to step fully into yourself, honor your inner compass, and embrace the limitless potential that comes from living authentically. Chapter 6: Setting Goals That Inspire You. Goals are the bridges that connect where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. They provide direction, purpose, and a sense of forward movement. Yet too often people set goals that are influenced by external pressures, fleeting trends, or the expectations of others rather than their own values and desires. These goals may appear impressive on the surface, promotions, recognition, or societal benchmarks, but they rarely bring the deep fulfillment that comes from pursuing what truly resonates with your authentic self. Setting goals that inspire you requires introspection, honesty, and courage. It is about identifying what matters most to you, creating a vision that reflects your values, and taking intentional steps toward a life that feels vibrant and purposeful. The first step in setting inspiring goals is clarity about your values. Your values are the guiding principles that shape your decisions, your priorities, and your sense of purpose. They are the lens through which you assess opportunities and determine what feels meaningful. Without grounding your goals in your values, even the most ambitious plans can feel hollow, leaving you chasing outcomes that do not fulfill you. Take the time to reflect on what truly matters. Is it freedom, creativity, connection, growth, or contribution? Once your values are clear, your goals naturally begin to align with what will bring genuine satisfaction rather than external validation. Next, examine your passions and interests. Goals rooted in what excites you, what energizes you, and what you are curious about will sustain motivation in ways that external pressures cannot. Passion provides the fuel that propels you forward, especially when challenges arise. If your goals feel like obligations rather than opportunities, you are less likely to follow through or experience joy in the process. Ask yourself, what activities make me feel alive? What pursuits do I return to repeatedly, even when no one is watching? What projects or skills do I dream of developing because they resonate with who I am? Identifying these passions provides the inspiration needed to set goals that are both motivating and meaningful. Creating realistic goals is just as important as aligning them with values and passions. Ambition is vital, but goals that are unrealistic can lead to frustration, burnout, or self-doubt. Realistic goals consider your current resources, responsibilities, and life circumstances while still challenging you to grow. They strike a balance between aspiration and feasibility. For example, if you have always dreamed of running a marathon but have never been a runner, a realistic first goal might be completing a 5K, then a 10K before progressing to longer distances. By setting achievable milestones, you build confidence and create momentum that encourages further growth. Flexibility is another essential component of inspiring goal setting. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances can change rapidly. Goals that are rigid may become sources of stress or disappointment if the path shifts. Flexible goals, on the other hand, allow you to adjust while maintaining alignment with your values and aspirations. Flexibility does not mean lowering standards or giving up. It means being adaptable, resilient, and responsive to new information and experiences. A flexible mindset allows you to navigate obstacles, seize unexpected opportunities, and continue moving forward even when the original plan evolves. Small, consistent steps are the engines that drive long-term progress. Goals, especially ambitious ones, can feel overwhelming if viewed only in their entirety. Breaking them down into manageable actions makes them tangible and attainable. Each small step builds momentum, creating a sense of achievement that fuels motivation. These steps are not insignificant. They compound over time, transforming vision into reality. Consistency matters more than perfection. Progress, even incremental, signals commitment and reinforces your capacity to achieve what you set out to do. By focusing on the next actionable step, rather than the entire journey at once, you maintain forward movement while avoiding paralysis. Setting inspiring goals also requires acknowledging that goals can and should evolve. As you grow in self-awareness, develop new skills, and gain experience, your priorities and passions may shift. What felt deeply meaningful a year ago may no longer resonate today. Embracing the fluid nature of goals allows you to refine, expand, or redirect them as needed. Evolving goals are not signs of failure, they are evidence of growth. They demonstrate that you are listening to yourself, responding to your experiences, and shaping your life intentionally. The willingness to adapt ensures that your goals remain aligned with your authentic self, rather than becoming stagnant or outdated. One powerful approach to goal setting is visualization. Imagine yourself having achieved your goal. What does it feel like? What does your day look like? How do you carry yourself in this reality? Visualization creates a vivid mental picture of success, which strengthens motivation and confidence. It also helps you identify the practical steps required to reach the goal, as you can see the process unfolding in your mind. By connecting emotionally to your goals through visualization, you transform them from abstract ideas into compelling possibilities that you are inspired to pursue. Another effective method is backward planning, which involves identifying the ultimate goal and then mapping out the steps needed to reach it. This approach ensures that your actions are purposeful and aligned with the desired outcome. It also helps you anticipate potential challenges and create strategies to overcome them. By breaking the journey into actionable components, you reduce overwhelm and create a clear roadmap. Each step along the way serves as a checkpoint, offering opportunities for reflection, adjustment, and celebration of progress. Accountability is a crucial factor in sustaining momentum. Sharing your goals with trusted friends, mentors, or accountability partners can provide encouragement, perspective, and motivation. When others are aware of your intentions, you are more likely to follow through. Additionally, feedback from supportive sources can help you refine your goals, identify blind spots, and recognize progress that might otherwise go unnoticed. Accountability transforms goal setting from a solitary endeavor into a collaborative journey, enhancing both commitment and confidence. Self-reflection is another key practice in goal setting. Periodically reviewing your progress, allows you to assess whether your actions align with your values and passions. Reflect on what is working, what challenges are emerging, and what adjustments are needed. This process ensures that your goals remain relevant, inspiring, and meaningful. Reflection also allows you to celebrate achievements along the way, reinforcing motivation and providing evidence of your ability to grow and succeed. By engaging in regular reflection, you maintain clarity, focus, and alignment with your authentic self. It is important to recognize that setbacks and obstacles are part of the journey. Even with inspiring, well-aligned goals, challenges will arise. How you respond to these moments determines your ultimate success. View obstacles not as failures, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and refine your approach. Each challenge provides insight into your strengths, resilience, and capacity for problem-solving. By approaching setbacks with curiosity rather than fear, you maintain momentum and continue moving toward your desired outcomes. Setting goals that inspire you also involves cultivating a sense of purpose. Goals rooted in purpose are deeply motivating because they connect your daily actions to a larger vision for your life. Purpose provides meaning beyond immediate results, sustaining effort through challenges and delays. Consider not only what you want to achieve, but why it matters to you. How will achieving this goal enhance your life, contribute to others, or align with your core values? Connecting your goals to purpose transforms them from tasks to be completed into expressions of your authentic self. The journey of goal setting is ultimately a journey of self-discovery. Through this process, you learn more about what excites you, what matters most, and what you are capable of achieving. You discover resilience, creativity, and determination that may have been dormant or untapped. You cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself, gaining clarity about the life you want to lead. Inspiring goals act as both a mirror and a compass, reflecting your inner desires while guiding you toward the future you are capable of creating. Stories of people who set inspiring goals later in life highlight the transformative power of this approach. Colonel Sanders, founder of KFC, did not begin building his brand until his 60s, showing that ambition paired with clarity of vision and consistent action can lead to remarkable success. J.K. Rowling, after years of struggle, committed to her writing goal with perseverance, aligning her efforts with her passion and vision despite setbacks and challenges. These examples underscore the principle that it is never too late to set meaningful goals, and that alignment, clarity, and persistence are key to achieving them. In conclusion, setting goals that inspire you is a practice in authenticity, clarity, and intentionality. Goals should reflect your values, ignite your passions, and align with your vision for a fulfilling life. They should be realistic, flexible, and adaptable, allowing growth and evolution over time. By breaking goals into small, consistent steps, embracing visualization and planning, maintaining accountability, and cultivating purpose, you create a roadmap that motivates and sustains you. Obstacles and setbacks are not failures. They are part of the process, offering lessons and opportunities for refinement. The most important truth is that inspiring goals are not about meeting external standards. They are about honoring your authentic self. They allow you to live deliberately, pursue what matters, and create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Each step toward your goals, no matter how small, is a declaration of your commitment to yourself and your future. By setting goals that inspire you, you transform vision into action, potential into progress, and desire into reality. Your goals become the threads that weave together the life you are meant to lead, a life built on clarity, courage, and authenticity. Chapter 7: Building New Skills and Habits. Reinvention is not merely a matter of dreaming or deciding. It is a process that requires action, persistence, and the willingness to step into unfamiliar territory. At the heart of this process lies the development of new skills and the cultivation of habits that support your evolving self. Learning is not something reserved for the young, nor is it confined to classrooms or formal training. It is a lifelong process, a tool of empowerment, and a bridge to the life you aspire to create. Embracing the ability to acquire new skills and integrate new habits is a declaration that you are ready to grow, adapt, and transform, no matter your age or stage in life. The importance of learning and adaptability in reinvention cannot be overstated. The world around us changes constantly, and the ability to evolve alongside it is critical to creating a life that feels alive and meaningful. Adaptability is not merely a professional asset, it is a personal superpower. It allows you to pivot when circumstances shift, explore new paths when old ones no longer serve you, and cultivate resilience in the face of uncertainty. Every skill you acquire, every habit you build, strengthens your capacity to navigate life with confidence and purpose. Growth is cumulative, and each new capability expands the horizon of possibility, revealing opportunities that previously seemed out of reach. Learning new skills often begins with curiosity. Curiosity is the spark that ignites motivation, opening the mind to exploration and experimentation. It is the willingness to admit, "I do not yet know how, but I am willing to learn." This mindset is transformative because it shifts focus from limitations to potential. Instead of fearing inadequacy, you embrace possibility. Curiosity encourages questions, fosters creativity, and makes the process of skill building an adventure rather than a chore. Whether you are learning to write, code, speak a new language, paint, or manage a new business, curiosity is the fuel that sustains you through challenges and setbacks. One of the most common misconceptions about learning and habit formation is that it requires large, dramatic efforts or innate talent. In reality, transformation often happens through small, deliberate steps taken consistently over time. Small habits, when repeated day after day, compound into lasting change. This principle applies equally to skill acquisition and personal growth. For instance, committing to 15 minutes of practice each day on a new skill may feel insignificant at first, but over weeks and months, those minutes accumulate into expertise, confidence, and mastery. Habits are the scaffolding of reinvention. They convert intentions into action and sustain momentum when motivation fluctuates. Consistency is key. Habits and skills are built through repetition, and repetition creates neural pathways in the brain that make new behaviors automatic. This is why early stages of learning often feel awkward, frustrating, or uncomfortable. The unfamiliarity is a sign that your brain is reorganizing, forming new connections, and preparing for transformation. Embracing this discomfort, rather than avoiding it, is essential. It is a signal that you are stretching beyond your comfort zone and expanding the boundaries of what you are capable of achieving. Over time, the initial effort required diminishes, and the new behaviors become second nature, supporting your reinvention in a sustainable way. Setting up an environment that supports skill building and habit formation is another crucial factor. Surround yourself with resources, tools, and people that facilitate learning. This could mean taking classes, attending workshops, joining communities of like-minded learners, or seeking mentors who can guide you. It could also mean creating a physical environment that encourages practice, designating a space for writing, painting, exercise, or study. Small adjustments to your environment can significantly reduce friction, making it easier to engage consistently with your goals. Embracing experimentation is an essential mindset for acquiring new skills. Reinvention is rarely linear, and the process of building new capabilities involves trial and error. Not every approach will work immediately, and not every interest will become a lifelong pursuit. This is not failure, it is exploration. Each attempt provides information: what works, what resonates, and where adjustments are needed. By viewing experimentation as a learning opportunity rather than a test of your worth, you remove the fear of imperfection and open yourself to discovery. Experimentation nurtures creativity, adaptability, and resilience, all of which are crucial for successful reinvention. Accountability and reflection also play pivotal roles in skill development and habit formation. Tracking progress, celebrating milestones, and reflecting on challenges reinforce learning and build confidence. Consider maintaining a journal of practice, noting what strategies worked, what obstacles arose, and how you overcame them. Reflection allows you to refine your approach, deepen understanding, and internalize lessons. Accountability, whether through mentors, peers, or personal commitments, ensures that your efforts remain consistent, helping you sustain momentum when motivation dips. Another principle of skill building is incremental growth. Attempting to master everything at once can lead to overwhelm and discouragement. Instead, focus on small, achievable targets that gradually expand your competence. For example, if your goal is to learn public speaking, you might start by practicing in front of a mirror, then to a small group of friends, and eventually present to larger audiences. Each step reinforces skill, builds confidence, and diminishes fear. Incremental progress transforms what initially seems daunting into manageable, motivating challenges that keep you moving forward. A key aspect of building new habits is aligning them with your larger vision for your life. Habits should serve your goals and reflect your values, not merely occupy time. For instance, cultivating a habit of daily reflection, exercise, or creative practice is not just about discipline. It is about creating the conditions that allow your authentic self to flourish. When habits are meaningful, they are easier to maintain and reinforce the identity you are building. Each habit becomes a small investment in your transformation, compounding into profound long-term results. Patience is essential in this process. Skills and habits take time to develop, and the results may not be immediately visible. It is natural to feel frustrated, or to question whether your efforts are making a difference. This is when trust in the process becomes critical. Every effort, however small, contributes to growth. Just as a tree grows slowly, unseen beneath the soil before bursting forth with leaves and fruit, the skills and habits you cultivate now are preparing you for transformation that will manifest over time. Patience, combined with consistent action, ensures that your growth is sustainable and deeply rooted. Emotional resilience is another byproduct of building skills and habits. As you practice new behaviors, face setbacks, and push past discomfort, you cultivate perseverance, confidence, and self-trust. You learn that challenges are not threats to your ability, but opportunities to strengthen it. Each small success reinforces your belief in your capacity to learn, adapt, and reinvent yourself. Over time, this resilience permeates all areas of life, enabling you to face uncertainty and change with courage and optimism. Stories of those who have successfully acquired new skills later in life illustrate the transformative power of learning and habit. Consider Grandma Moses, who began painting in her 70s, developing skill and creating a legacy that continues to inspire. Consider Harlan Sanders, who at 65 founded KFC, building a business that became a global phenomenon. Their achievements remind us that it is never too late to learn, adapt, and create impact. They also illustrate the cumulative power of consistent effort, persistence, and experimentation, the very principles that underpin habit formation and skill development. Finally, building new skills and habits is deeply connected to curiosity and joy. When you approach learning as an exploration rather than a chore, it becomes a source of energy, excitement, and satisfaction. Curiosity transforms the act of practice into play, making the process enjoyable rather than burdensome. Habits, when aligned with interests and passions, reinforce engagement and motivation. This combination of curiosity, consistency, and alignment transforms ordinary effort into meaningful, sustaining growth. In conclusion, building new skills and habits is a cornerstone of reinvention. It requires curiosity, consistent effort, experimentation, patience, and resilience. By embracing small, deliberate actions, cultivating habits that align with your values, and remaining open to learning, you create momentum that fuels transformation. Skills and habits are not merely practical tools, they are expressions of your commitment to yourself and your future. Each small step, each deliberate practice, each new habit compounds over time, creating profound, lasting change. Through this process, you reclaim the power to shape your life intentionally, demonstrating that reinvention is not only possible at any stage but deeply rewarding. By the end of this chapter, you should see that learning and habit building are not intimidating tasks to fear, they are invitations to growth, exploration, and self-discovery. Every skill acquired, every habit cultivated, is a declaration that your life is yours to shape, that your potential is not fixed, and that the person you are becoming is the result of deliberate, inspired action. Embrace curiosity, experiment boldly, and act consistently. Transformation is built one step, one habit, and one skill at a time, and your commitment to this process is what will allow your reinvention to flourish fully. Chapter 8: Embracing Change Without Shame. Change is often feared, not because it is inherently difficult, but because society teaches us to view it as a reflection of inadequacy. There is a subtle yet persistent stigma surrounding the idea of starting over, of pivoting to something new, or of redefining your life later in life. From an early age, we are conditioned to believe in linear progress, that life should follow a predictable path of education, career, relationships, and retirement. Deviating from that path, even for deeply personal reasons, can provoke judgment from others and self-doubt within ourselves. But embracing change is not a sign of failure, it is a profound act of courage, growth, and self-respect. Reinvention, no matter the age, is an affirmation that you are alive, aware, and committed to living a life that reflects your authentic self. One of the first steps in embracing change without shame is acknowledging the power of societal expectations. Cultural norms dictate what is considered appropriate at various stages of life. A person in their 40s pursuing a new career, a parent returning to education, or an individual leaving a long-term job to follow a passion often faces unspoken scrutiny. Friends may express concern, colleagues may question judgment, and family may voice subtle disapproval. These reactions are rarely malicious, they reflect ingrained beliefs about stability, risk, and conventional success. Yet allowing these societal pressures to dictate your choices limits your freedom and stifles potential. Recognizing that external expectations are not prescriptions for your life is liberating. It opens the door to decisions rooted in authenticity rather than obligation. Shame around change often originates internally too. Many of us internalize the message that choosing a new path late in life is too late or irresponsible. We compare ourselves to those who followed conventional trajectories and measure our progress against outdated timelines. We fear judgment from others and question our own judgment. This internalized shame can paralyze, keeping us tethered to routines, careers, or relationships that no longer serve us. Overcoming this shame begins with reframing the narrative. Choosing a new direction is not failure, it is courage. Every choice to grow, explore, and pursue fulfillment is evidence that you are awake to your own potential and willing to act on it. Reinvention is, at its core, a sign of growth. It signals that you have the self-awareness to recognize when a chapter has run its course, and the courage to begin anew. Change demonstrates adaptability, resilience, and intentionality. It reflects a refusal to settle for a life that feels misaligned with your values, passions, or dreams. Embracing this mindset allows you to view change not as an interruption or mistake, but as a deliberate evolution, a conscious decision to prioritize your life's trajectory over societal scripts or external approval. Each step toward reinvention is a declaration that you deserve a life that aligns with your authentic self, and that your future is not limited by your past. Part of embracing change without shame is seeing yourself as a work in progress. Life is not a static achievement, it is a dynamic, evolving journey. Each stage, each experience, and each decision contributes to growth. Viewing yourself as a work in progress fosters self-compassion, reduces the weight of external judgment, and encourages experimentation. You are allowed to pivot, adjust, and explore without guilt or embarrassment. Recognizing that growth is ongoing transforms the fear of judgment into a sense of freedom. Every step you take towards self-improvement or transformation is a continuation of a lifelong process, rather than a deviation from a fixed script. Inspiring examples of late-life reinvention illustrate the power and possibility of embracing change. Consider Vera Wang, who transitioned from journalism and figure skating to fashion design in her 40s, ultimately building a global brand. Her story demonstrates that reinvention is not about starting too late, it is about leveraging accumulated experience, insight, and perspective to create something extraordinary. Colonel Sanders, founder of KFC, began his iconic journey at the age of 65, proving that age does not limit ambition or achievement. These stories, among countless others, reinforce that change is a powerful catalyst for growth and fulfillment, not a marker of inadequacy. They remind us that embracing transformation is an act of courage and self-respect, regardless of societal expectations. Fear of failure often accompanies change, amplifying shame and hesitation. We worry that pursuing a new path will expose our vulnerabilities or highlight past mistakes. Yet failure, when reframed, is not a reflection of incompetence, it is a necessary and invaluable part of growth. Every attempt, whether successful or not, provides insight, skill, and perspective. The courage to try, to act in alignment with your desires, outweighs the temporary discomfort of missteps. In fact, embracing change often requires an acceptance that mistakes are inevitable, that progress is incremental, and that the journey itself is where transformation occurs. Shame also diminishes when we redefine success on our own terms. Society often measures achievement by external markers, job titles, income, accolades, or social status. These markers are fleeting, and do not necessarily reflect personal fulfillment. True reinvention is about aligning your actions with your values, passions, and authentic desires. When your goals and behaviors are in harmony with your inner self, shame fades, replaced by confidence and pride in pursuing what truly matters. You no longer need validation from others. Your sense of purpose and integrity becomes the measure of success. Another critical aspect of embracing change without shame is the practice of self-compassion. Change can be uncomfortable, uncertain, and challenging. You may experience doubt, fatigue, or fear. Treat yourself with the same understanding and kindness you would offer a friend navigating similar circumstances. Recognize that courage is required to leave familiar paths, and that growth is rarely linear. Celebrate progress, acknowledge effort, and allow space for imperfection. Self-compassion reinforces resilience and reduces the internalized shame that so often accompanies transformation. Embracing change also involves cultivating curiosity. When you approach reinvention as an exploration rather than a correction of past errors, fear and shame diminish. Curiosity invites openness, experimentation, and discovery. It allows you to see change as an adventure rather than a threat. Asking questions, trying new things, and approaching challenges with playful curiosity transforms uncertainty into opportunity. This mindset encourages flexibility, creativity, and joy throughout the process of reinvention. Reflection is another powerful tool. Take time to consider what aspects of your current life feel authentic and which do not. Reflect on the parts of yourself that you have suppressed, the passions you have sidelined, and the values you have compromised. Journaling or speaking with trusted mentors or friends can clarify what you truly want and highlight areas where change is necessary. Reflection transforms abstract feelings of discontent into actionable insights, allowing you to embrace transformation deliberately rather than reactively. Change is also more sustainable when supported by a community. Seek relationships and environments that encourage growth, celebrate experimentation, and honor authenticity. Being surrounded by people who understand that transformation is a sign of courage and not a flaw reduces shame and reinforces your commitment to reinvention. Supportive communities offer guidance, encouragement, and perspective, reminding you that change is a normal, respected, and empowering part of life. Ultimately, embracing change without shame requires a shift in perspective, from seeing transformation as a sign of inadequacy to viewing it as an affirmation of life, growth, and self-respect. It is a declaration that you are willing to prioritize your well-being, happiness, and purpose over external judgment or outdated societal scripts. Change is not a mark of weakness. It is a testament to your awareness, courage, and resilience. By the end of this chapter, you should recognize that reinvention at any stage of life is an act of strength. It is an expression of self-awareness, an embrace of possibility, and a commitment to living fully. Change is not something to hide, fear, or feel ashamed about. It is something to celebrate. Each choice to pursue alignment, authenticity, and growth, regardless of age or circumstance, is a testament to your courage and determination. Embracing change without shame means acknowledging societal expectations without being ruled by them, confronting internal fears without letting them define you, and approaching transformation with curiosity, self-compassion, and courage. It requires seeing yourself as a work in progress, understanding that growth is continuous, and recognizing that your life is a dynamic, evolving journey. Reinvention is a privilege of consciousness, a chance to shape your story intentionally and to live a life that reflects your truest self. When you embrace change with pride rather than shame, you open the door to limitless potential. Each pivot, each reinvention, and each courageous step forward is proof that you are committed to growth, self-expression, and fulfillment. The person you are becoming is not limited by past choices, societal timelines, or conventional expectations. Instead, your evolution is a celebration of possibility, a testament to resilience, and a declaration that it is never too late to design a life that reflects who you truly are. Change is not your failure, it is your freedom. It is your courage, made visible. It is your authentic self, unbound, rising into the life you are meant to live. By embracing it without shame, you reclaim your power, honor your journey, and step boldly into a future defined not by limitation, but by the expansive potential of who you are becoming. Chapter 9: Designing a Life That Feels Authentic. Living authentically is more than a concept. It is a practice, a deliberate choice to align your life with who you truly are rather than who others expect you to be. Many people go through life following scripts written by society, family, or past decisions, only to discover later that the life they have built does not feel theirs. It may look successful on the outside, a stable career, a steady income, a predictable routine, but internally it can feel hollow or misaligned. Designing a life that feels authentic requires courage, reflection, and intentional action. It requires examining every aspect of your daily existence, from routines and work to relationships and personal habits, and asking whether these choices reflect your values, passions, and true self. Authentic living is a commitment to yourself, a refusal to settle for conformity, and a declaration that your fulfillment matters. The first step in designing an authentic life is clarifying your values. Values are the compass that guides meaningful decisions, helping you discern what matters most amid competing demands. Without clear values, life can feel like a series of reactive choices, dictated by urgency, expectation, or social comparison. Reflection is essential. What principles do you want to guide your life? Is it freedom, creativity, growth, family, contribution, or connection? Identifying these core beliefs allows you to evaluate your daily choices against a standard that truly resonates with who you are, rather than what others tell you should prioritize. When values are clear, decision-making becomes simpler, less stressful, and more empowering. Boundaries are a critical component of authenticity. Living authentically does not mean saying yes to everything or pleasing everyone. It means protecting the space and energy necessary to nurture your values, passions, and well-being. Setting boundaries involves knowing your limits, asserting them respectfully, and resisting pressure to compromise your priorities for the sake of external approval. Boundaries are not selfish, they are essential. They allow you to create a life that reflects your intentions, rather than reacting to the demands and expectations of others. Without boundaries, even well-intentioned choices can be hijacked by obligation, leaving you drained, frustrated, and disconnected from your authentic path. Prioritization is another essential principle of designing an authentic life. Time and energy are finite, and how you allocate them reveals what you truly value. Many people struggle with feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or unfulfilled because their priorities are misaligned with their values. Intentional living requires examining each area of your life, work, relationships, health, personal growth, and asking whether the time spent aligns with your authentic self. This may involve difficult decisions, such as letting go of commitments, saying no to toxic relationships, or restructuring routines that no longer serve your goals. Prioritization empowers you to invest in what matters most and create a life that feels meaningful and satisfying. Daily routines and habits are the backbone of authentic living. They are the repeated actions that shape your energy, mindset, and productivity. By designing routines that reflect your values and goals, you reinforce the identity you wish to cultivate. For example, if growth is a core value, dedicating time each day to reading, learning, or practicing a skill aligns your actions with your beliefs. If connection matters, intentionally scheduling meaningful interactions with loved ones strengthens relationships and nurtures fulfillment. Habits are the small, consistent investments in your future self. They translate abstract intentions into tangible progress. Authentic living emerges when your daily actions reflect your values, creating alignment between who you are and what you do. Relationships play a pivotal role in authenticity. Surrounding yourself with people who respect your choices, inspire growth, and celebrate your individuality reinforces confidence and clarity. Conversely, relationships rooted in judgment, control, or comparison can erode authenticity, leaving you second-guessing your desires or compromising your values. Evaluating your relationships is an act of self-care. Which connections nurture your authentic self, and which drain or distort it? Cultivating supportive, empowering relationships strengthens your ability to live intentionally, providing encouragement, accountability, and affirmation that your path is valid and worthwhile. Measuring success by external standards is one of the greatest barriers to authentic living. Society often equates success with status, wealth, or recognition, but these markers are not universal indicators of fulfillment. Authentic success is measured by alignment, satisfaction, and the sense that your life reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Ask yourself, do I feel energized, content, and purposeful in my daily life? Do my accomplishments reflect who I truly am, or who I thought I should be? Success is not a comparison to others, it is the lived experience of being congruent with yourself. Shifting this perspective allows you to celebrate achievements based on personal growth, joy, and fulfillment, rather than social approval. Intentional living is about conscious choices in every dimension of life. It is about asking, does this action, relationship, or decision align with my authentic self? Rather than defaulting to habit, expectation, or obligation. Intentionality requires presence and reflection, challenging the autopilot mode that keeps people trapped in unfulfilling routines. By engaging actively with your choices, you reclaim agency over your life and cultivate a sense of ownership and purpose. Each decision becomes an opportunity to reinforce authenticity, deepen fulfillment, and shape the life you envision. A key aspect of authenticity is the willingness to embrace imperfection. Living authentically does not require flawless execution or rigid adherence to ideals. It requires honesty, vulnerability, and self-compassion. Accepting that your journey will include mistakes, detours, and periods of uncertainty allows you to move forward without shame or fear. Every misstep is a lesson, every challenge an opportunity for growth, and every moment of doubt a chance to recommit to your values. Authentic living thrives when you release the need for perfection and embrace the evolving, imperfect, and dynamic nature of life. Stories of individuals who have embraced authenticity illustrate its transformative power. Consider someone who left a lucrative but unfulfilling career to pursue a passion for teaching, art, or social work. They may have faced skepticism, financial uncertainty, or personal doubt, yet the decision to align with their values brought energy, purpose, and satisfaction that external markers of success could not provide. Similarly, individuals who set boundaries to prioritize health, relationships, or creative pursuits often report increased confidence, clarity, and joy. These examples reinforce that authenticity is not just a philosophical ideal, it is a practical, life-changing approach to living. Reflection is a vital tool in maintaining an authentic life. Periodically assessing your choices, routines, and relationships ensures that alignment remains intact. Reflection helps you notice drift, evaluate priorities, and adjust actions when necessary. Journaling, meditation, or conversations with trusted mentors can facilitate this process, offering insight into how well your life mirrors your values and passions. Reflection is not self-criticism, it is an act of intentionality, allowing you to course-correct and continue evolving in alignment with your authentic self. Authenticity is also cultivated through gratitude and recognition of progress. Celebrating the moments when you honor your values, act courageously, or make choices aligned with your true self reinforces identity and confidence. Gratitude for the opportunities, relationships, and experiences that support authenticity deepens engagement with life and strengthens resilience against external pressures or internal doubts. Recognizing your progress reinforces that living authentically is both possible and deeply rewarding. Designing a life that feels authentic is a continuous journey, not a one-time achievement. Values evolve, passions shift, and circumstances change, requiring ongoing reflection, adjustment, and recommitment. Authentic living is dynamic, responsive, and adaptive. It is the daily practice of aligning who you are with how you live, making conscious choices, and prioritizing what matters most. Each day offers an opportunity to reinforce your identity, clarify your purpose, and deepen fulfillment. In conclusion, living authentically is a deliberate choice that brings lasting happiness, confidence, and purpose. It requires clarifying values, setting boundaries, prioritizing intentionally, cultivating supportive relationships, and aligning daily actions with your true self. Success is measured not by comparison to others, but by the sense of alignment and fulfillment you experience. Authenticity allows you to live courageously, embrace imperfection, and create a life that reflects your passions, values, and dreams. Each conscious choice, each intentional habit, and each alignment with your authentic self builds momentum toward a life that is vibrant, meaningful, and uniquely yours. By embracing authenticity, you reclaim your life from expectation, comparison, and conformity. You transform everyday actions into expressions of your identity, choices into declarations of your values, and routines into foundations for fulfillment. A life designed with intention, grounded in authenticity, is not only sustainable, it is empowering. It reminds you that fulfillment is not a distant goal but a lived reality, present in the choices you make, the relationships you cultivate, and the courage you exercise every day. Authenticity is your guide, your compass, and your most reliable path to lasting satisfaction and confidence. Chapter 10: Trusting the Journey. Life is rarely linear, and the path to reinvention is seldom smooth. For those seeking to rebuild, rediscover, or redesign their lives, the biggest challenge is often not a lack of vision, skills, or courage. It is learning to trust the journey itself. Trusting the journey means cultivating patience, resilience, and faith in your unique timeline. It means embracing setbacks, delays, and unexpected detours, not as failures, but as opportunities to grow, reflect, and prepare for the next phase of your transformation. It requires releasing the need to control every outcome and surrendering to the rhythm of life, confident that your path is unfolding as it should. From the moment we begin to dream of a new life, impatience often creeps in. We want results quickly. We want transformation to appear overnight. Social media, culture, and society reinforce this expectation, showing curated images of success, accomplishments, and milestones as if they occur effortlessly and on schedule. Yet the reality is very different. Transformation, whether personal, professional, or emotional, is a process, a gradual unfolding of effort, insight, and adaptation. Every delay, every obstacle, and every challenge is part of the narrative, contributing lessons, skills, and perspective that ultimately make the final destination more meaningful. Setbacks are among the most misunderstood components of any journey. When we encounter failure, rejection, or delay, it is easy to interpret these experiences as signs that we are off track or incapable of success. Yet setbacks are not a deviation from the journey, they are an integral part of it. Each challenge presents an opportunity to refine your approach, strengthen your resilience, and deepen your understanding of yourself and your goals. The detours you encounter often redirect you toward possibilities that would have been invisible without the challenge. Trusting the journey means reframing setbacks as feedback rather than judgment, as signposts rather than barriers. Delays too serve a purpose. Life has a rhythm, and timing is often beyond our control. We may desire a new career, relationship, or life chapter, only to encounter circumstances that slow the process. Rather than viewing these delays as obstacles or failures, they can be understood as periods of preparation, growth, and recalibration. Sometimes the universe or life itself gives us the space to develop skills, gain clarity, and strengthen our emotional resilience before taking the next step. Trusting the timing of life requires patience and faith that the journey is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it does not align with our expectations. One of the most powerful tools in trusting the journey is resilience. Resilience is not merely the ability to endure difficulties, it is the capacity to adapt, learn, and grow from them. It is the skill that allows you to navigate setbacks, delays, and uncertainty without losing sight of your vision. Building resilience involves cultivating emotional awareness, practicing self-compassion, and embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. Each time you confront a difficulty and continue forward, you strengthen your resilience, making you more capable of handling future challenges with grace and confidence. Faith in the journey also requires letting go of comparison. It is easy to look at others and assume they are ahead or have had an easier path. Social media and cultural narratives make this even more pronounced, showing only the successes while masking the struggles and detours that accompanied them. Comparing your progress to someone else's curated story fosters frustration, doubt, and impatience. Trusting your journey means recognizing that your path is unique, your timeline is distinct, and your growth cannot be measured by anyone else's standard. Your life unfolds in its own rhythm, and each step, whether fast or slow, is meaningful. Reflection is an essential practice in cultivating trust in the journey. Taking time to pause, review, and appreciate your progress helps maintain perspective. Consider where you started, the obstacles you have overcome, and the skills you have developed. Recognize that even small steps forward are significant. They accumulate over time and contribute to your transformation. Reflection transforms frustration into gratitude, impatience into patience, and doubt into confidence. It reminds you that the journey is not solely about the destination. It is about the growth, learning, and self-discovery that occur along the way. Embracing uncertainty is another aspect of trusting the journey. Reinvention often involves venturing into the unknown, trying new approaches, and taking risks. Uncertainty can be intimidating, but it is also fertile ground for creativity, insight, and opportunity. Trusting the journey means leaning into uncertainty with courage, curiosity, and openness. Rather than resisting what you cannot control, you allow yourself to explore, experiment, and adapt. Each moment of uncertainty holds the potential for discovery, revealing strengths, passions, and opportunities that would remain hidden if you stayed within the familiar. Stories of late-life reinvention and unexpected success illustrate the power of trust in the journey. Consider individuals who changed careers in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, pursuing passions they had long deferred. Some faced repeated setbacks, yet each obstacle served as a stepping stone to the eventual breakthrough. Others experienced delays or detours that seemed frustrating at the time, but ultimately led them to paths more aligned with their purpose. These examples underscore that trusting the journey is not passive. It is an active engagement with life, a commitment to progress, and a belief in the inherent value of your unfolding story. Another element of trust is embracing patience with yourself. Reinvention is rarely a straight line, and progress may feel slow or inconsistent. It is easy to become discouraged when results are not immediate, or when growth feels invisible. Yet each effort, each new skill, each habit cultivated contributes to your long-term transformation. Trusting the journey involves recognizing that time and consistent effort are essential ingredients of meaningful change. It is about honoring the pace of your life and the rhythm of your personal growth, rather than forcing outcomes or rushing to meet arbitrary timelines. Trusting the journey also encourages a mindset of gratitude and optimism. Gratitude allows you to see the value in each step, each lesson, and each moment of growth, even when the outcome is not yet visible. Optimism sustains your energy, helping you approach setbacks and detours with hope rather than despair. Together, these attitudes transform challenges into opportunities, delays into preparation, and uncertainty into potential. They reinforce the belief that your path, with all its twists and turns, is meaningful and leading you toward the life you are capable of building. Taking action while trusting the journey is a delicate balance. It does not mean waiting passively for life to unfold. It means moving forward with intention while maintaining faith in the process. Each step you take, however small, is a vote of confidence in your vision and a commitment to your growth. Trusting the journey is about showing up consistently, practicing patience, and embracing the lessons embedded in each challenge. It is a dynamic interplay between action and surrender, effort and acceptance, planning and adaptability. Resilience, patience, reflection, gratitude, and optimism combine to create a foundation for trust in the journey. These qualities allow you to approach reinvention with confidence, knowing that each setback, delay, or detour contributes to your growth. They help you navigate uncertainty with courage, experiment with new possibilities without fear, and maintain alignment with your authentic values and goals. They transform the unpredictable process of reinvention into a meaningful and empowering experience. Ultimately, trusting the journey means believing that it is never too late to build a life you love. No matter your age, past experiences, or setbacks, the path to reinvention is always available. Each day presents an opportunity to take deliberate steps, learn, grow, and move closer to the life you envision. By embracing the journey with patience, resilience, and faith, you honor your unique story, acknowledge your capacity for transformation, and create a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and deeply rewarding. In conclusion, the journey of reinvention is both a challenge and a gift. It requires patience with timing, resilience in the face of setbacks, and faith in the unseen unfolding of your life. Delays, detours, and obstacles are not indicators of failure. They are essential components of growth, preparation, and insight. By trusting the journey, you embrace uncertainty with courage, cultivate optimism and gratitude, and celebrate progress no matter how incremental. Reinvention is not bound by age, past decisions, or societal expectations. It is an ongoing process of alignment, self-discovery, and empowerment. Trusting the journey allows you to fully engage with your life as it unfolds. It transforms challenges into opportunities, delays into preparation, and the unknown into possibility. It fosters resilience, patience, and confidence, while honoring the unique timing and rhythm of your personal path. Most importantly, it reinforces the truth that it is never too late to build a life you love, one that reflects your values, passions, and authentic self. Each step, each lesson, and each moment of persistence is part of your story, a story still being written, unfolding at its own perfect pace. By the end of this chapter, you should recognize that trusting your journey is not passive waiting but active engagement with life's process. It is about moving forward with faith, learning from challenges, embracing detours, and celebrating progress. It is about knowing that every step contributes to a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and authentically yours. Trust the journey, honor your rhythm, and take each step boldly, knowing that your reinvention is unfolding exactly as it should. Conclusion: your new chapter begins now. As you reach the conclusion of this journey through the pages of reinvention, it is essential to pause and reflect on what has brought you here. Perhaps you began this book feeling uncertain, hesitant, or weighed down by the belief that your chance to create change had passed. Maybe the thought of starting over, pursuing new dreams, or stepping into a life that feels authentic seemed overwhelming, even impossible. And yet, by reading, reflecting, and engaging with these ideas, you have already taken the first courageous step. Self-awareness is the foundation of transformation, and acknowledging your desire for reinvention is proof that you are ready. Every insight gained, every question considered, every spark of possibility that stirred within you marks progress, a movement toward a life that is truly yours. One of the most powerful truths explored throughout this book is that it is never too late to reinvent yourself. Time, age, past mistakes, and societal expectations are not limitations. They are experiences that enrich your perspective and prepare you for the path ahead. Each chapter has emphasized a single profound reality: your life is not a fixed story. It is an unfolding narrative, one that you have the power to shape, write, and rewrite at any moment. The courage to step into your own story, the willingness to embrace change without shame, and the commitment to align your actions with your values are the keys that unlock your potential. Reinvention is not a radical departure from who you are. It is a celebration of your authentic self, amplified by the wisdom and resilience you have gained over the years. Reflection is an essential part of this process. Consider how far you have come already, not in years but in growth. Perhaps you have confronted fears that held you back, acknowledged regrets without letting them define you, or explored passions and values you had long ignored. Maybe you have begun to question societal expectations, embrace small victories, or envision a future that resonates with your true self. Every moment of introspection, every step of courage, is a building block for the life you are now ready to create. Transformation is cumulative, and the awareness you have cultivated is your most powerful tool. It is proof that you possess the capacity to act, to decide, and to move forward with clarity. Bold action is the bridge between intention and reality. Knowing your values, understanding your desires, and clarifying your goals are essential, but they are only the beginning. Reinvention requires moving beyond contemplation into deliberate action. Even the smallest step forward is a statement of self-trust. It is a declaration that you believe in your ability to grow, adapt, and create the life you envision. Perhaps it begins with learning a new skill, establishing a habit that aligns with your passions, or having a difficult conversation that clears the path for your authentic life. Whatever it is, the key is to act with intention, consistency, and courage. Action transforms possibility into reality, and each choice reinforces your commitment to yourself. Self-trust is central to every step of reinvention. It is the confidence that you are capable of navigating uncertainty, handling setbacks, and making decisions that honor your values. Trusting yourself allows you to move forward even when the path is unclear, when delays test your patience, or when fear threatens to hold you back. It means honoring your instincts, embracing your wisdom, and believing that your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Self-trust is not about perfection, it is about commitment to growth, resilience in the face of challenges, and faith in your ability to steer your life toward alignment and fulfillment. Ongoing growth is a companion to reinvention. Reinvention is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. Each phase of life offers new opportunities to learn, evolve, and deepen your understanding of yourself. Embracing growth as continuous allows you to adapt to change, explore new passions, and refine your vision of fulfillment. Every experience, whether a success, a setback, or a detour, provides insight, wisdom, and strength. By committing to ongoing growth, you remain responsive to your evolving self, ensuring that the life you build continues to reflect authenticity, joy, and purpose. Designing your life with intention is an act of profound empowerment. Each decision, from the way you spend your time to the people you surround yourself with, becomes a choice that reinforces your authentic path. Aligning your actions with your values creates harmony between your inner world and your external reality. It transforms daily routines into expressions of purpose, relationships into sources of support and inspiration, and goals into milestones of personal fulfillment. A life lived intentionally is a life in which every step, no matter how small, resonates with meaning and direction. Embracing courage is essential in this final stage. Reinvention is rarely without discomfort. Leaving behind familiar patterns, questioning long-held beliefs, and venturing into unknown territory requires bravery. Yet courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite fear. Each courageous step strengthens your resilience, expands your capacity, and affirms your commitment to your future self. By choosing courage over comfort, you claim the right to live a life that aligns with your values, passions, and dreams. As you look forward, envision the life you wish to create. Picture a life where your daily choices reflect who you are at your core, where your relationships nurture and inspire, and where your passions are cultivated with energy and joy. Imagine the satisfaction of looking back, knowing that you pursued your path with authenticity, integrity, and courage. This vision is not hypothetical, It is within reach, built step by step through intentional action, self-trust, and alignment with your deepest values. Your journey of reinvention is your story, and the most exciting chapters are yet to be written. No matter your past, your age, or your circumstances, the power to shape your life rests with you. Each day offers an opportunity to step into your authentic self, embrace new possibilities, and act on the vision you have for yourself. Reinvention is not an event. It is a commitment to continuous growth, deliberate choice, and the courage to pursue a life that truly feels yours. The essence of this journey is hope. Hope is not passive, it is active belief, grounded in self-awareness, reflection, and courage. Hope propels you forward when the path is uncertain, fuels resilience in the face of challenges, and sustains momentum when results are not immediate. Hope reminds you that transformation is possible, that your future is not predetermined by your past, and that each deliberate choice brings you closer to a life of meaning and fulfillment. As you close this book, remember that reinvention is both a gift and a responsibility. The gift is the awareness that change is possible at any stage, that your potential is not bound by age or circumstance, and that the life you desire can be built from where you stand today. The responsibility is to act, to trust yourself, pursue growth, and honor the values that define your authentic self. By embracing both the gift and the responsibility, you step boldly into a future that reflects your truest essence. Your new chapter begins now. It begins the moment you choose to act, the moment you reaffirm your commitment to yourself, and the moment you embrace the limitless possibilities ahead. The journey may be winding, the path may include challenges, and the steps may feel small at times, but each move forward is a victory, each moment of courage is progress, and each day lived authentically is a triumph. You have already come far by choosing to reflect, engage, and envision a life that aligns with your true self. Now take the next step with confidence, knowing that the life you dream of is attainable, the transformation you seek is possible, and the future you deserve is within your grasp. Trust yourself, honor your journey, and act boldly. Your reinvention is not a distant dream. It is happening now, built by your courage, resilience, and determination. The pages of your life are blank beyond this moment, waiting for your vision, your action, and your passion. Fill them deliberately. Write boldly. Live authentically. Your new chapter is yours to create, and it begins now. Thank you for reading this book. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to leave us a review. TM Light. Disclaimer. This book was created with the assistance of artificial intelligence. While every effort was made to ensure the accuracy and relevance of the content, readers should note that this cannot be considered professional advice. Readers are encouraged to apply their own judgment and consult experts where needed.